She smiled at me. That's what I'll never forget. I'd just lost 3 weeks of work. My career was about to collapse. The CEO was waiting for a report that no longer existed. And Boma, my best friend, the woman who'd welcomed me on my first day, smiled. Not a friendly smile. Not a sympathetic smile. A smile that said, I won. My hands shook as I stared at my computer screen that Friday morning. The report I'd spent 3 weeks building was gone. Not just missing. Deleted. Around me, the Synergy Tech Lagos office buzzed with energy.
Vonnis gang.
Keyboards clicked. Someone laughed too loud near the coffee machine. But I couldn't hear any of it. My heart pounded in my ears like thunder. I clicked refresh. Nothing. I checked my backup folder. Empty. Chioma. Mrs. Tiniola's voice cut through the noise. Conference room.
Now.
And bring the quarterly analysis report. The report that no longer existed. My stomach dropped. I looked around the office. Everyone was busy with their work. Everyone except Boma, who sat 3 desks away, typing on her laptop. For just a second, she glanced up. Our eyes met, and she smiled. That morning, I didn't know about the security footage. I didn't know she'd sat at my desk the night before, deleted my files, and uploaded fake data in my name. I didn't know she'd done this to 3 other women before me. All I knew was that smile. And in that moment, something inside me cracked. The report wasn't just my project. It was my lifeline. 3 months earlier, my father had suffered a stroke. Medical bills piled up, Nigerian naira 2.3 million and counting. My younger sister Amarachi's school fees were overdue. My mother was selling her jewelry piece by piece just to keep us afloat. This promotion to team lead came with a 500,000 Nigerian nairas raise. Money that meant my father could get the surgery he needed. Money that meant Amarachi could finish secondary school. Money that meant my mother could stop selling her wedding gold. The report in front of the CEO? That was supposed to prove I deserved it. And now it was gone. I stood up slowly, my legs trembling. I had to face Mrs. Tiniola. I had to explain how 3 weeks of work had vanished overnight. In the conference room, 10 pairs of eyes stared at me. I felt my face burn with shame. I don't have it, I whispered, my voice barely audible. Mrs. Tiniola's eyebrows rose. Excuse me? The report, it's gone from my computer. I don't know. You don't know? Her voice was ice. Chioma, I gave you 3 weeks. The investors are coming on Monday.
What do you mean you don't know?
Maybe you weren't ready for this project, Mrs. Tiniola continued. Maybe I promoted you too fast. I completed it. I said, louder now. I saved it Wednesday night. Someone must have. Must have what? Broken into your computer? Mrs. Tiniola shook her head. Take responsibility, Chioma. Don't make excuses. Across the table, Boma spoke up. Mrs. T, I can help recreate it this weekend if you want. I've been working on similar data. Mrs. Tiniola's face softened. Thank you, Boma. At least someone here is professional. As everyone filed out, Boma touched my shoulder. Don't worry, she whispered. I'll fix this mess for you. But her fingers pressed down just a little too hard. Before that Friday morning, I thought Boma was my friend. I really did. 6 months earlier, she'd been the first person to welcome me to Synergy Tech. You'll love it here, she'd said, pulling up a chair to my desk on my first day. Us girls have to stick together, you know? This tech world is full of men who think we can't code. Boma was everything I wasn't, loud, confident, always laughing. She wore bright Ankara prints and spoke her mind in meetings. Everyone knew her name. I was quieter. I preferred to let my work speak for itself. You're so smart, Boma would say, watching me solve problems others couldn't. But you need to speak up more. Nobody will notice you if you're always silent. I thought she was helping me. I didn't see the jealousy, hiding behind her smiles. Everything changed the day the CEO praised my data analysis during company meeting. This is the kind of innovation we need, he'd said, holding up my report. That night, Boma sent a text. Congrats, babe. You deserve it. Party popper. But her eyes in the office the next day told a different story. That smile was there, The same smile I saw when my report disappeared. That evening, the office was nearly empty. I sat at my desk trying to rebuild 3 weeks of work in 2 days. My eyes burned from staring at the screen. My fingers ached from typing, but I couldn't stop. My father's surgery depended on this promotion. Amarachi's school fees depended on it. You should go home. I jumped. Kunal, the IT assistant, stood beside my desk. He was young, maybe 25, and usually kept to himself. I can't, I said. I have to. It won't matter. His voice was quiet but urgent. Whatever you rebuild, it'll disappear again. My fingers froze on my keyboard. What do you mean? Kunal glanced around nervously. I can't say much. But check your workstation camera. Yesterday, around 7 p.m. Why? Just check. He started walking away, then stopped. And Chioma? I'm sorry, I didn't tell you sooner. I was scared. He disappeared into the elevator before I could ask more questions. With trembling hands, I opened the security footage system. I scrolled back to Thursday evening, 7 p.m. The time I'd left early because my mother called crying about my father's medical bills. At first, the footage showed empty desks. Then a figure appeared. Someone sat down at my computer. Someone who knew my password. I leaned closer to the screen, my heart racing. The figure turned slightly toward the camera.
No.
No, please no. It was Boma. I watched the footage 3 times, unable to believe my eyes. In the video, Boma worked quickly. She opened folders, deleted files, copied data to a USB drive. Then she logged into the project portal and uploaded something, a report with my name on it, but clearly not my work. The timestamp showed exactly when it happened. Thursday, 7:14 p.m. 11 minutes. She sat at my desk for 11 minutes, destroying everything I'd built. My hands clenched into fists. I wanted to scream.
To cry.
To throw something. But instead, I sat perfectly still, breathing slowly.
Why?
That was the question that burned in my mind. We were friends. Or I thought we were. What had I done to deserve this? Then I remembered something. Last month, the CEO had mentioned creating a new team lead position. He'd said they were looking for someone innovative and reliable. Everyone knew Boma and I were the top candidates. And the team lead position came with that 500,000 Nigerian nairas raise. I saved the footage to 3 different locations. Then I made a decision. I wasn't going to be silent anymore. But I also wasn't going to be stupid. I needed more proof. I needed to be smart. The next evening, a sticky note appeared on my desk. Rooftop. 6 p.m.
Come alone.
K. The Synergy Tech building rooftop overlooked all of Lagos. I could see traffic jammed on the expressway, hear the distant sounds of street vendors calling out their wares, smell Sia grilling somewhere nearby. Kunal was already there, pacing. Thank you for coming, he said. I wasn't sure you would. Why did you help me? I asked. Kunal stopped pacing. In the orange sunset light, he looked tired, because Boma did the same thing to someone else.
Angela.
She worked here last year. Same thing, deleted files, sabotaged presentations. Angela quit before she could prove anything. My stomach twisted. Why didn't you speak up then? Because Boma's uncle is Mr. Adeyemi, the chief operations officer. Kunal's voice was bitter. When Angela tried to complain, she was fired within a week. They said she was creating drama and couldn't handle pressure. So Boma can do whatever she wants? I asked. Pretty much. Kunal kicked at the rooftop ledge. But here's what you need to know. It's not just jealousy. Boma's family is pressuring her. Her uncle got her this job, but she has to prove she deserves the next promotion. If she doesn't become team lead, her family will see her as a failure. I felt a strange twist in my chest. Almost like pity?
No.
I pushed the feeling away. Boma's family problems didn't excuse destroying someone else. Didn't excuse destroying me. Will you testify? I asked. If I expose her, will you back me up? Kunal hesitated. Then slowly he nodded. Yes. I'm tired of watching good people get hurt. I looked out over Lagos, my city, my home. Somewhere down there, Amarachi was probably doing homework, believing her big sister was strong and brave. My mother was probably counting what little money she had left, wondering which piece of jewelry to sell next. I had to be brave now. For real this time. Not just for me.
For them.
Back at my desk that night, I did something risky. I accessed the report Boma had uploaded under my name. As I read it, my hands began to shake, not from fear this time, but from anger. The report wasn't just wrong. It was dangerously wrong. The financial projections were inflated by over 40%. The market analysis ignored critical risks. If the investors saw this and believed it, they could lose millions of naira. Boma wasn't just trying to make me look incompetent. She was willing to hurt the entire company to do it. She was willing to commit fraud. I sat back, my mind racing. This changed everything. This wasn't just workplace drama anymore. This was criminal. I screenshot everything, saved every error, documented every false claim. 17 major errors in total. 17 pieces of evidence that this report was designed to fail. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Boma. Hey sis, how's the report recreation going? Need help? Smiling face with smiling eyes. I stared at that smiling emoji. At the fake concern. At the word sis. She'd called me that for 6 months.
Sister. Friend.
All while planning to destroy me. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Finally, I typed back. I've got it handled. Thank you. I sent it and felt something shift inside me. Something cold and clear and determined. That night at home, I lay in bed staring at my ceiling. The truth was I was terrified. What if no one believed me? What if Mr. Adeyemi protected Boma? What if I ended up like Angela, unemployed and discredited? What if I lost everything and my father's surgery never happened and Amarachi had to drop out of school? My phone lit up. A message from Amarachi. Sister me, I told my teacher about you today. I said my sister is the smartest person at her company. She said I should be proud. I am proud. Love you. Red heart. Tears burned my eyes. I thought about quitting. Just walking away. Finding a new job where nobody knew me, where I could start fresh. My resignation letter was already half written in my drafts. But then I thought about Angela. About whoever else Boma had hurt. About the next quiet girl who would take a job at Synergy Tech and slowly get destroyed by someone she trusted. I deleted the resignation letter. I opened a new document and began writing something else. A detailed timeline of every incident, every deleted file, every suspicious moment over the past 3 months. I attached screenshots, video timestamps, IT logs. By 2 a.m., I had built a case that even Mr. Adeyemi couldn't ignore. Sunday night, I returned to the office. I knew Boma would be there. She always worked late before presentations, perfecting her stolen work. I found her in the bathroom, reapplying lipstick. Chioma? She jumped. What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I locked the bathroom door behind me. But I already know. You're preparing tomorrow's presentation. The one with my work. Boma's hand trembled slightly. I don't know what you. Thursday. 7:14 p.m. My computer. You sat there for 11 minutes. The lipstick dropped into the sink. Security footage shows everything, Boma. Every file you deleted. Every folder you copied. Every lie you uploaded. Boma's face went from shock to anger in seconds. You have no proof that will hold up. My uncle. Your uncle walked past my desk while you were there. The footage shows him.
He saw you.
And kept walking. Her breathing quickened. He didn't. He knew Boma. He's always known. Which means he's complicit. Which means when I show that footage tomorrow, you're not the only one going down. Boma's eyes flashed with something ugly. You wouldn't. You're too quiet. Too scared. That's why I picked you, because I knew you'd never fight back.
I smiled then.
A small, knowing smile. The same smile she'd given me Friday morning. You picked wrong. Monday morning, I dressed differently. I wore the bright yellow Ankara blazer my mother had made for my graduation, the one I'd been too shy to wear to work. I did my makeup carefully. Not heavy, but enough to show I cared how I looked. When I walked into the office, conversation stopped. Boma looked up, surprised. Wow, Chioma, you look different. I smiled. That same small smile. Just felt like being visible today. The weekly presentation meeting started at 9 a.m. All the senior managers would be there, including Mr. Adeyemi. I waited until everyone was seated, until Boma had started her presentation about saving the quarterly analysis. She clicked through slides confidently, speaking about data I'd collected, insights I'd developed, projections I'd calculated. Then I stood up. "I'm sorry to interrupt," I said. My voice was quiet but clear. "But before we continue, there's something everyone needs to see." Mrs. Tiniola frowned. "Chioma, this isn't the time." "It's exactly the time." I walked to the front and plugged in my USB drive. "This will only take 5 minutes. But it's important." I pressed play. The conference room filled with the sound of keyboard clicking. On the screen, they watched Boma sit at my desk, delete files, copy data, upload the false report. The timestamp was clear. Thursday, 7:14 p.m. The actions were clear. Everything was clear. For 10 seconds, nobody spoke. Then Mr. Adeyemi said, "This must be edited. This is obviously fake." "It's not fake, sir." Connell's voice came from the doorway. He stepped into the room, holding a laptop. I pulled the original files from our security server. Timestamps, IP addresses, device IDs, everything matches. I can show you the technical logs if you'd like. Boma's face had gone gray. You're misunderstanding what you saw. I was just deleting my work?" My voice was steady. "Uploading a fraudulent report in my name? Which part am I misunderstanding, Boma?" "I was trying to help you." Boma's voice rose, desperate. "You're too quiet, Chioma. Nobody takes you seriously. I was going to fix your report and make it better and take credit for it." I pulled up another document. "This is the report you uploaded under my name. It contains 17 factual errors, inflated projections that violate company policy, and risk assessments that could expose our investors to massive losses." I looked directly at Mr. Adeyemi. "Sir, if those investors had seen this report and acted on it, this company could have faced legal action worth millions of naira. This isn't just sabotage. It's fraud." The room erupted. Managers talked over each other. Mr. Adeyemi demanded to see the technical logs. Mrs. Tiniola kept saying, "I don't understand. I don't understand." I pulled up more evidence. This isn't the first time. Angela Okafor, who worked here last year, experienced the same thing. Deleted files. Sabotaged presentations. She tried to complain, but she was fired instead. I looked at Mr. Adeyemi again. "You knew about it, didn't you, sir? Angela came to you, and you protected your niece instead of protecting your employee." The color drained from his face. "I have documentation of 3 other employees who experienced similar incidents. Small things. Subtle things. But now that we're looking, the pattern is clear." Through it all, Chioma stood perfectly still, watching Boma's world collapse. And I felt nothing.
No satisfaction.
No victory. Just exhaustion. But also something else. Something new. Relief. Because I'd finally used my voice. 2 hours later, they put Boma and me in separate offices. I could hear her crying through the walls. Loud, desperate sobs that might have made me feel sorry for her 6 months ago. But not now. Not after seeing that smile. Finally, they called me into Mr. Adeyemi's office. He sat behind his desk, looking 10 years older than he had that morning. "That footage," he said quietly. "I need to know." "You knew," I interrupted. "You've known about Boma's sabotage for over a year. Since Angela." He wouldn't meet my eyes. "She's family. I thought I could control it. Keep it small. Handle it internally. You thought protecting your niece was more important than protecting your employees."
My voice was calm. Steady.
"You enabled fraud, Mr. Adeyemi. You knew about the false reports. You knew about the data manipulation. And you did nothing." Silence filled the room. "You should resign," I said slowly, before I send this evidence to the board of directors. Because if you don't, I will. His hands trembled on his desk. You're threatening me? I'm giving you a choice. The same choice you never gave Angela. Or me. Or the others. 3 days later, Mr. Adeyemi resigned. The official reason: personal matters. The real reason: I had learned that silence wasn't safety. It was surrender. Boma was suspended immediately. A full investigation was launched. Within a week, IT logs revealed she'd sabotaged 3 other employees over the past year. Small things, subtle things, easy to miss. But now that people were looking, the pattern was clear. But the investigation found something else too. Something that shocked everyone. Boma's credentials were fake. The degree from University of Lagos? Forged. The coding certification? Bought online. Even her 2 years of experience on her resume? Actually 14 months, padded with lies. Her uncle had known. He'd helped her fake the documents to get the job. The nepotism ran deeper than anyone had realized. The story made the rounds quickly. First through the office, then through the industry. COO resigns amid nepotism and fraud scandal, read the headline in the business section of the newspaper. Angela, the girl who'd quit a year ago, received a formal apology from the company. And a settlement of 5 million Nigerian nairas. And me? I was promoted to team lead. But victory felt complicated. Some colleagues congratulated me warmly. Others whispered that I was too aggressive, too calculating. She could have handled it privately, someone said in the bathroom one day, not knowing I was in the stall. Cold-hearted. Another voice agreed. She destroyed Boma completely. Destroyed her uncle too. I sat frozen, listening to myself be judged for refusing to be destroyed. For protecting myself. For speaking up. That night I called Kunnel. Did I do the right thing? Yes, he said without hesitation. But doing the right thing doesn't always feel good. That doesn't mean it wasn't right. His words helped. A little. 3 weeks after my promotion, Boma's father called me. Please, he begged. Withdraw the complaint. My daughter made a mistake. Our family's reputation. Your daughter made a choice, I said. And choices have consequences. But she's lost everything.
Her job.
Her career. She had to move back to our village in Delta State. She's living with her grandmother now. Isn't that punishment enough? I thought about my father finally getting his surgery because I got that 500,000 Nigerian nairas raise. I thought about Amarachi back in school with her fees paid. I thought about my mother, no longer selling her wedding gold piece by piece. Your daughter tried to destroy my life so she could succeed. She didn't care about my family struggles. Why should I care about yours? 6 months later, I sat at my new desk, the team lead office with the window overlooking Lagos. I'd changed the department's culture. Clear communication channels. Transparent project tracking. Regular check-ins where everyone's voice mattered. The quiet people weren't so quiet anymore. My computer pinged. An email from an unknown address. Dear Chioma, you don't know me. My name is Ngozi. I worked at Synergy Tech 2 years ago. Boma sabotaged my work too, but I couldn't prove it. I left broken, thinking I wasn't good enough for tech. When I heard what you did, I cried. Not sad tears. Relief tears. You weren't her first victim, but you were the first person brave enough to fight back. Because of you, I'm returning to tech. I'm applying for jobs again. I'm not letting fear win anymore. Thank you for your voice. It saved more than just you. I read the email 3 times. Then I looked out my window at Lagos, messy, loud, beautiful Lagos, and thought about silence. For so long, I'd believed silence kept me safe. That if I just stayed quiet and worked hard, everything would be fine. But silence hadn't protected me. My voice had. I donated half my first team lead bonus, Nigerian Naira 250000, to a scholarship fund for young women in tech. I named it the Angela Okafor Scholarship for Workplace Justice. Because some silences need to be broken, and some voices need to be amplified. One evening, 3 months after everything happened, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Boma. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I needed to say something. I'm in therapy now. Living with my grandmother in the village has given me time to think about everything I did, everyone I hurt. I was wrong. Not just wrong, I was cruel. I destroyed people because I was afraid of not being enough for my family. But destroying you didn't make me better. It just made me a person I don't recognize anymore. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. And I'm trying to become someone better. Someone who doesn't need to hurt others to feel worthy. Thank you for stopping me before I hurt anyone else. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to delete it, to not respond, to let her sit with her guilt the way she'd let me sit with my shame that Friday morning. But I wasn't that person. I wasn't someone who stayed silent anymore. But I also wasn't someone who needed revenge. I typed back, I appreciate you saying this. I hope you find peace with yourself. But I won't forget what you did. Or what you cost me. I sent it and felt something release in my chest. Not forgiveness. Not quite. But something close to closure. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Amarachi. Sister, are you coming home this weekend? I want to hear more about your job. You're my hero. I smiled, a real smile this time. I wasn't anyone's hero. I was just a woman who decided that protecting herself wasn't the same as staying silent. A few weeks later, I received another email, this time from a journalist who'd heard about the case. I'm writing an article about workplace sabotage and women in tech. Would you be willing to share your story? I thought about it for a long time. About all the women like Angela, like Ngozi, like me, who'd suffered in silence. Who'd lost their careers, their confidence, their belief in themselves because someone else decided they were threats. I replied, yes. It's time more people heard about this. The article came out a month later, when silence became survival. One woman's fight against workplace sabotage. It went viral. My inbox flooded with messages. Women from all over Nigeria, from across Africa, from around the world, sharing their own stories. Stories of sabotage, manipulation, stolen credit, destroyed work. Thank you for speaking up, they wrote. You gave me courage. I created a support group. Online every Thursday evening, women gathered to share their experiences, strategize, support each other. We called it Breaking the Silence. Within 6 months, we had over 500 members. Within a year, we'd helped 12 women file successful complaints against workplace sabotage. We'd gotten 3 corrupt managers fired. We'd created a database of companies with patterns of protecting abusers over victims. My voice, which I'd kept quiet for so long, had become part of something bigger. Something that mattered. One Thursday evening, during our online meeting, a young woman named Chidinma shared her story. She worked at a company in Abuja. Her supervisor was taking credit for her work, sabotaging her presentations, slowly destroying her reputation. But I recorded everything, Chidinma said, her voice shaking. I learned from Chioma's story. I kept evidence. And tomorrow, I'm reporting him to HR. The group erupted in support. Encouraging words filled the chat. Practical advice flowed. And I sat there, watching this young woman find her courage and realize something important. Silence had never been my defense. It had been my prison. My voice, truthful, clear, unafraid. That was my real defense. That was my power. That Friday evening, I sat on my balcony overlooking Lagos. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. The city hummed with life below, cars honking, people laughing, music playing from somewhere nearby. My phone rang. It was my mother. Chioma, your father wants to speak to you. My father's voice came through, stronger than it had been in months. My daughter. I heard about your group, about the women you're helping. I'm so proud of you. Tears filled my eyes. Thank you, Papa. You know what I always told you? That silence is golden. Yes, Papa. I was wrong. Your voice, your brave, beautiful voice. That's what's golden. Don't ever be silent again. I hung up and looked out over my city. My messy, loud, beautiful city. I thought about that Friday morning 6 months ago, about Boma's smile, about my deleted report, about how terrified I'd been. I thought about everything I'd lost by staying silent for so long, and everything I'd gained by finally speaking up. The next morning, I opened my notebook and wrote something down, words I'd repeat on hard days. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. But you don't have to forgive what was never a mistake. Some things are choices, and choices have consequences. Silence is not safety. Silence is surrender. Your voice is your power. Use it. My phone buzzed. A message from Kunnel. Lunch today? There's a new IT assistant who's being bullied by her supervisor. I thought maybe you could talk to her. Help her find her voice. I smiled and typed back. Absolutely. Let's meet at 1 p.m. Because that's what we do now. Those of us who've learned that silence only protects the people who hurt us. We speak up. We help others speak up. We break the cycle. That afternoon, I met with the young IT assistant. Her name was Blessing. She was 23, fresh out of university, terrified of losing her job. He deletes my work, she whispered, takes credit for my ideas, tells everyone I'm incompetent, but I can't prove it. I reached across the table and took her hand. Let me teach you how to document everything, how to build a case, how to find your voice. Her eyes filled with tears. Why would you help me?
You don't even know me.
Because someone helped me when I needed it most. And now I'm paying it forward. 3 months later, Blessing successfully reported her supervisor. He was fired. She was promoted. And the cycle of silence was broken again. This is what I learned. Silence feels safe. It feels like protection. It feels like if you just keep your head down and work hard, everything will be fine. But silence only protects the people who hurt you. Silence gives them permission to keep hurting others. Your voice, truthful, clear, documented, unafraid, that's your real defense. I'm not a hero. I'm just a woman who got tired of being destroyed quietly, who decided that protecting herself meant speaking up, even when her voice shook, even when people called her aggressive, or cold-hearted, or calculating. I'm just a woman who learned that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to be silent anymore. And if my story helps one person find their voice, if it helps one person document their abuse, if it helps one person stand up and say no more, then every difficult moment was worth it. That smile Boma gave me that Friday morning? I'll never forget it. But I won't let it define me either. What defines me now is my choice to speak. My choice to help others speak. My choice to break the silence that protects abusers and destroys victims. Today, I still work at Synergy Tech. Still lead my team. Still mentor young women in tech. Still run Breaking the Silence every Thursday evening. My father had his surgery. He's walking again, slowly but surely. Amarachi is thriving in school, talking about becoming an engineer. My mother still has her wedding gold. And me? I have something more valuable than gold. I have my voice. And I'm never going to be silent again. Sometimes people ask me if I regret how everything happened. If I wish I'd handled it differently. If I feel bad about what happened to Boma and her uncle. I tell them the truth. I regret staying silent for so long. I regret not speaking up sooner. I regret that Angela and Ngozi and others suffered before me. But I don't regret using my voice when I finally found it. I don't regret protecting myself. I don't regret the consequences that followed from someone else's choices. Because here's what I know now. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can be quiet and still be powerful. You can forgive yourself for staying silent too long without forgiving the people who hurt you. And most importantly, your voice is not aggressive. Your voice is not mean. Your voice is not cold-hearted. Your voice is your right. Your voice is your power. Your voice is your defense. Use it.